Welcome to another exciting episode of Impacting World Between. On today's episode, we're going to be treating the topic sexual assault. Yes, sexual assault. And on the show with me today, I have a legal practitioner. Welcome with me, Barrister Mrs. Omowunmi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
My lord. What exactly is sexual assault?
Well, sexual assault is an act whereby a person intentionally have sexual intercourse or touches another person without that person's consent.
Without the person's consent.
Yes.
Wow. So, who exactly can be sexually assaulted? Is it both genders or?
Yes. Male, female, children, even elderly ones too.
Wow. Do they get a report? Can we report a sexual assault
Yes.
case?
In fact, that is the best thing to do.
So how do we go about it?
First, if a person is being assaulted, we have different type of sexual assault.
Okay.
We have child sexual abuse. That is when another older person abuse a child sexually.
Wow.
Either by touching the child's genital parts, or you ask the child to touch your own genital parts, or you forcefully have carnal knowledge of such a child. Then there is groping. That is fondling or touching of another person without the person's consent. Either when the person is wearing a cloth or not. Then there is rape. So the best thing is when a person is being assaulted, either of this, from these three I've just mentioned, the first thing is you should, let's say for example, a person is being raped now.
Yeah.
You do a medical examination. The first thing is to go to the hospital. Let it be confirmed that there is a penetration. Because it is a vital ingredient in proving the offense of rape.
Okay.
So after then you go to the police station. You report. Then the police will now take your statement. After then, they will now arraign the perpetrator. That is the person that assaulted the victim. They will arraign the person to court. Then the person will either plead guilty or not.
Okay.
If the person pleads guilty, it makes it faster. You just will try summarily immediately. But if the person pleads not guilty, then you take a date for hearing.
Okay.
The hearing commences. That is when you now present your evidences.
Okay.
This is when the medical reports will now come in.
Okay.
It is very, very important. Then they call witnesses. Maybe the person is aware. Can even call the medical doctor that carried out the examination.
Okay.
Then, so from there, so if the perpetrator is found guilty, then be convicted and sentenced to prison. The penalty for rape in Nigeria is 14 years imprisonment.
Very good. Okay, so let's assume that a victim that does not have any evidence, maybe was raped, or okay, now if the person was raped, they can even she can go to the hospital or let's assume that this person was not maybe raped, or maybe was just sexually assaulted and by touching, and or maybe it's even a child, and there's no evidence, there's no camera, there was nobody present. How do they go about things like that? Or can that case actually still be presented?
It can be presented, but it's just that the evidence make it easier to convict the perpetrator. When you have evidences, maybe there's another person that can corroborate what just happened. It makes it easier. If it is a child now, the perpetrator can easily refuse, can easily deny committing such offense.
Yes.
So, but if it is a child, this is when we now encourage our children to always speak up. There are some cases that when a child gets, maybe the child is being assaulted by the teacher or by another person in school, immediately the child gets home and inform his or her parents. It's make it very easier. The parents are aware, then the parents will now know the steps to take. So it is, it's the evidence is what makes it easier to prosecute. Let's say somebody fondle you in the way you don't like, or touches you in the way you don't like. You should show, maybe you have your clothes were torn or anything, just something to present to the court, to make the court believe. People these days can be very funny.
Yeah, sexually assaulted. How do they go through that phase of life? Because, for example, especially rape, these are knowledge. These are memory that you might not even be able to wipe off easily. How do they go through that stage and get over it?
Personally, I've not handled any case
like that
yet, but at least I have colleagues that have handled such cases and I've read about such cases too. Well, the trauma is it's not something to talk about because you are not in their shoe. And you know this, especially in Nigeria, it's not very easy coming out to say that you are being raped.
Yeah.
First they will tell you that they will ask you how did you dress, which should not be. They will ask what were you doing there. So it's usually very difficult for the victims
To come out.
But when they do, and I would say that the first thing you should, as a victim, is you should forgive yourself. That's just the first thing. Most people don't like to come out. It's because of stigmatization.
That's true.
For example, all these rape cases we heard of or hear of on social media.
Yes.
People have judged them.
Yes.
Especially if it is a female.
Yes.
So one thing every one of us need to do is we should stop stigmatizing any victim that has been assaulted. This will enable people to come out
more.
So if a victim decides to, stay silent, my advice is for the person should just forgive his or herself. Know that it
wasn't your fault.
Then I think such person should seek out for therapy.
Yeah.
You need to talk about it.
Yes.
Because you find out that most victims that decide to stay silent, most of them when they grow older or when they find themselves in that kind of situation, they tend to abuse other people. Most sexual assaulted victims also become perpetrators. So they need to seek for therapy. They should heal. They should let go of it. As a Christian, pray about it.
Yeah.
Forgive the person. Let the peace of God envelop you. Let His peace, let it take it all away. And they should seek medical help too. So even verbal abuse.
Yes.
There's the way you feel.
Yes.
And even most of our parents now, it's the way they were trained that they trained us to.
Yes.
Some people, they are used to their parents calling them names, so they don't see anything in it. So most of the victims also become perpetrators.
Oh my God, that is so serious. Thank you so much. We're going on a short break now. But before we go, I'll be asking this question. We're going to be talking about sexual assault in marriage. Is it possible? Is it not possible? So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to be talking about sexual assault in marriage. Is it possible to be sexually assaulted in a marriage?
Well, it is. But if I'll be talking about the legal aspects now, it's not possible. Section 357 of the Criminal Code and Section 282 of the Penal Code. Penal Code is what is applicable in this our jurisdiction, that is the state we're in.
Okay.
It is not possible because marriage is a contract between two consenting adults. So far the other partner has reached puberty stage. That's under the Penal Code. It is assumed that you are of a marriageable age. So and one of the rights enjoyable in marriage is consummation. That is meeting together of husband and wife. So rape or sexual assault in marriage is unknown to our law.
Wow.
But that does not mean that it is not happening. It is. But if you're talking about abuse in marriage, then it's something that you can actually report. Like domestic violence to your partner. So something like what when we talk about assault, it's not something you can prove because
you are in marriage.
Yes, and you're supposed to. It's a right that should be enjoyed by the parties in marriage.
Wow, because you hear stories like maybe the husband is a drunkard or something and comes home, forcefully having an intercourse with the wife or things like that, and you're like,
it's happened. It is happening. It happened.
So what can they do? This set of people, what can they do? They just have to keep quiet about it?
No, you don't have to. There are various organizations that have the capacity of taking up such cases.
So, okay.
Like FIDA, that is the women's arm of lawyers.
Okay.
International Federation of Women Lawyers. They take up cases like this. There are other NGOs, violence-based helping NGOs that they see to matters like this. You can actually report.
Okay.
But just imagine walking up to a police station or walking up to going to a hospital saying your husband raped you.
Yeah.
How would they look at you?
That's true.
So these are the little challenges, that does not make it tenable.
Wow, wow. But it doesn't mean that it is not happening.
It's definitely
But can we say that it can be termed under domestic violence? Let's say someone, her husband that comes in drunk
drunk
and,
and beats the wife.
yes, and still
Yes,
rapes, yes.
yes.
But can such evidences be, we did have evidence. What if there's no evidence?
Earlier I said you have to do examination. You have to
Yeah.
do a medical examination. So if it's someone that the husband comes on, beats all the time, maybe you have a mark on your body. You have a
Yes,
swollen
immediately you
face.
take pictures.
Yes, you take pictures, or you sustain injury. Then you can actually report such cases. Visible injuries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you very much. Okay, the next question I want to ask is better to an awareness. So people that have been sexually harassed or assaulted, how do people relate with them? We know that some of them don't want to come out because of what people,
Stigmatization.
yeah, exactly. So what advice do you have for people out there to, to look out for when they see someone that has been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted?
Thank you. The first thing is we should not stigmatize. I think, except we don't want to accept it, these are the things that happen day in, day out.
Yeah.
And there are enough, what will I call it now? Avenues where it's being expressed. So we all should come together and stop stigmatization. That is the first thing. Then we should not be the judge of anybody at all. And I would like to include that this notion of what were you wearing?
Yeah.
What were you doing there? It shouldn't be. We have rights, freedom to there are some places
whatever
that
you want to
of a truth, that if you are going to this place, you are going there for some reasons. For example, going to a club now. For people that,
Club.
yes, to them is their own safe haven where they can enjoy themselves. So it does not give room to people to be assaulted in such places.
Yeah.
So we should not be the judge of any. And if a person decides to speak about it, we should encourage them, give them listening ears, especially parents. When your child is trying to tell you about something, you should always listen. Or if you notice that your child does not want to see a particular relative or a particular person, then you should be attentive enough. You should try and find out why. I think all those things will help. Most important thing is we should not stigmatize.
Yeah.
We should give listening ears.
I think that is very, very important. You should give listening here, because for someone to even be bold enough to say
it's not like I said like that. I wouldn't know, but people that are being abused physically, it's not easy for them to come out and say, probably my husband is beating me. God forbid. Not talk of someone that has been raped.
Yes.
So if a person decides to come out, you should not judge them.
Yes. You should
not judge
encourage them to
Encourage
even
them to
speak out and
yes.
report to the right authorities.
Exactly.
And by God's grace it will be settled. So I'd like you to, like an awareness or advice to parents, what we can teach our children about this sexual assault so that they are confident enough to come and approach us whenever things like that happen.
Okay, thank you. First thing is, you should be our children's first friend. You should be their friend first.
Yeah.
Let your child have access to you, to tell you anything. I have a friend, in fact, the way she relates with her dad, I used to wonder.
Wow.
Boyfriend issues, anything. When she's on her period, so let's be your friend's first child.
Yes.
Let your child have access to you. Fine, we are busy looking for what they will eat, how they will have a good life. We shouldn't let that take away our responsibility too. We should not limit it to giving them financial needs, providing them financial needs. Let them have access to you. Ask them what happened in school today. Give them listening here.
Yeah.
Then we should teach our children sex education early enough, and we should not restrict it. When we're growing up, kokoro. There's nothing like kokoro. Let them know Let them know the name of their genital parts. Your lips is your lips. Nobody should kiss you on the lips.
Yes.
Nobody should touch your armpits. Nobody should touch your chest.
Yeah.
Nobody should touch you down here.
Yeah.
Let them know the name of the genitals. It is for you. So when such things happen, I have a niece. our mom used to tell her that nobody should touch your bum bum. Nobody even when I heard her brother take her to the toilet, maybe that want to wash for her or anything, she will come back,
Don't
mommy,
touch my bobo.
don't touch my bum bum. And be like, oh, okay, it's your
Yeah.
brother. But you should still report to me. So you
Yes,
can imagine such a
yes,
child when
yes.
she gets to school and someone now touch her inappropriately. Of course, she will report.
Yes.
So we should give them. Don't shut them up when they're trying to tell you things, especially when it pertains to relatives. Irrespective whether your person is your brother, your sister, your maid, an elderly person, you should not shut them up. Let them be expressive, so that when such things happen, they will have the confidence to tell you.
Yes. And I also think I think I read something about this some times ago, that you shouldn't make your female children
To sit on
people's lap.
opposite sex.
Yes.
Even, we thought that is happening now. Lesbianism and all.
Yes.
So, on people's lap.
So anybody, it's not even only not the opposite sex
now.
alone.
Yes. You should not allow people to kiss them, kiss babies.
Yes.
It's not healthy.
It's not
and
healthy.
aside from that, it's not good. So
About the touching of Boba, I can remember there was a time that I used to tell my daughter, I said that nobody should touch a Boba, nobody should do this. So when one of my brothers, like they were playing with, I think she did something, so that one spanked her. I was like, don't touch my Boba.
see.
Don't touch me. Like, anybody that touches you, you shout. Don't
Shout,
touch
yes.
my
Let them to
Boba.
shout.
And then she gets to report
Let
me.
them to
Yes, she
shout.
did very well.
And report too.
Yes. So it's important that we actually educate our children. Let them know these things. That anybody that touches them, they should always report to them. And I pray the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. We will not be a
Amen.
victim in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you so much. So to the last session of this show, we're playing a game. Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're ready? I've never asked you. You said you're ready. Okay. All right. So, song challenge or Bible sword?
It's Bible sword.
Bible sword.
Leviticus 3 verse 9.
Why is this talk?
Leviticus 3 verse 9.
The priest will take part of the fellowship of praise to the altar and forgive in the Lord. It's a time. It's a time.
No, I said it first.
My Lord, it is a time.
Okay, another one.
Okay.
Habakkuk 10 verse 5.
This is not sweet to open total. Mulaga kukuha niya ako. Habakkuk 3:9. Even when you show your rainbow.
Habakkuk 10.
Habakkuk 3:9. That's what you said.
No,
You said 10:9.
Stop at 3. I mean,
Oh.
Down.
Okay, cancelled.
Matthew 4 verse
Wait now.